Well, good morning. Beautiful, a little chilly, but beautiful out there today, huh? But can you believe it's already Lent? We're here in the first Sunday of Lent. It seems so early in the year. Now we spend the next 6 weeks preparing to celebrate what is the high point of our faith, the suffering, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Today we have 3 great readings, but I'm going to focus on the challenge that I see buried within the gospel. That God's vision for us might actually be that we also are called into the desert. Might call us to live a life we don't expect, to utilize resources within ourselves that we don't know we have, to find a way out through unfamiliar terrain, not only geographical, but spiritual. The desert totally upends our world. It's not where we're comfortable. But the good news is that when we are there, God is with us. And Lent is that season of intentional desert wandering. But the good thing is, it's a desert that is well measured. We know when it starts, we know where it starts, and we know where it ends. We know the rules. We know we are called to deepen our prayer life, give alms, to fast. We do these things in community, as we are here today, and we do them in private, where only God sees what we do. But it's a challenge. It's not easy. We know this challenge, this desert, it invites us to work out those spiritual muscles we have that kind of go latent and quiet many times during the year. Lent invites us to trust in God fully. So for those of you who have children, you know they trust you completely. If we could turn our heads and trust God the way children trust their parents, we'd probably be halfway there. Lent is that time for personal reflection, a time to slow down, look inside, see where we stand as Christians. And just a little bit of reflection time will remind us that there's, unfortunately, as weak human beings, like Father Bill used to say, there are plenty of things we really don't get right. But our reflections are not only on the negative, they should be on the positive. What kind of person am I? What can I do within my family, within my friends, within my work relationships? How active a member am I in my Christian community? In my parish? What could I do to make somebody else's life easier? What do I do within my own limitations to help eradicate the abuses that we all see at different times every day? These are just some of the questions we can ask ourselves. And it's never too late to get started. As I said, there exists within us a set of spiritual muscles which need to be developed and strengthened. And as people of faith, we are invited, actually we are called to see the pain in the world and not to shy away from it, but to engage it. Lent offers us that unique moment to build those muscles so that we can live the life that God calls us to live. After his baptism, Jesus goes out into the desert for 40 days. During that time, we hear that he is tested by the evil one. Mark didn't tell us how today, but both Matthew and Luke do in their gospel versions. But these tests, they're kind of examples of what Jesus is going to face in the course of his life. And these tests help us to understand the conflicts that Jesus experienced and which we will also experience in our own daily lives. Life isn't easy. We all know that. So how do we make sense of this? If we are to learn something about the desert from Jesus, about his 40 days of Lent, it might be that entering the desert doesn't mean we took a wrong turn or that we made a mistake. It's not a punishment. Sometimes following the life that God puts in front of us means going into the desert for a period of time, an unfamiliar place where we can look a little deeper into ourselves. And as we look at Jesus' life and consider what it means for our own, I believe there's an invitation for us to live a life that's a bit bold, courageous, knowing very well that sometimes we might step into a place where we're uncomfortable. But that is okay. Lent is a season of purification, a time for all of us to go into the desert with Christ and be purified and come out with him victorious over the temptations of the world. So as we enter into this Lent, let's remember that we are all loved by God. May our hearts be softened to the injustices of the world. May we hear God's call to live boldly and courageously, even if it is a little disturbing. And may we live always trusting in our God.
Please like, subscribe, or comment below.